Hey guys! So I made a video about my all-time favorite sewing projects. I also made a video about my favorite projects from this year, from 2023. And now I'm going to be showing you my all-time favorite projects from forever. So anything from as early as middle school all the way to this year and everything in between. Some sewing projects, some paintings, all of everything. So let's get right into it. So I mentioned this in my sewing project video, but I'm going to mention it again because it is definitely, this is probably one of my favorite pieces ever. So again, if you didn't see my other video, I got the idea from a YouTuber that I used to watch, and she had thrifted a shirt that was very similar to this. It was like red and purples and black for the most part was like the colors, but it was like this where instead of it being like a color block, it was pattern block and it was all floral, and I just loved it so much. So I decided to make one for myself. This was the first time that I had ever purchased fabric for a project. Mostly in, like, prior to that, I'd always thrifted it or gotten it from like a garage sale or just upcycled old clothing. And this was the first time that I bought brand new fabric from Joann's. So this one, and this one were all purchased brand new. So the only thing that sucks is now, you know, that was the first time I had purchased brand new fabric, so I didn't know that you had to pre-wash it. So I think I showed in the other video. But unfortunately, after washing it a bunch of times, you can see this is the bottom edge in the front. The white fabric shrunk more than the black one did. So it is what it is. I'm not going to fix it, but it is still one of my favorites for sure. And then the next piece that I am going to show you is another one that I mentioned in my previous video, is this dress. This is my very first sewing apparel project that I did, a clothing piece that I could wear, and I did wear it frequently. I made it in middle school. I think it was the summer before 7th grade. I love it. I have updated it and fixed some things because it was my very first project. It wasn't very far from perfect. So I have fixed some things and made it a little bit more professional, a little more nice looking. Recently, in the last year, I've done that. But there are still elements from the very original piece. This front panel with the zipper is still the original piece, and these straps are original as well. They were upcycled from a tank top that my mom had, so I used those. I love the pattern of the fabric. I love the feel of the fabric. It's kind of soft, but not really, and it's very light, so it's a perfect little cute summer dress. So this piece is one of many. When I was in San Antonio, I randomly got the idea to just kind of crush some cascarones from Fiesta onto a canvas, and I ended up making a whole bunch of them and kind of made like a little mini series with all different color backgrounds and different colors of glitter and stuff. And they just are happy, abstract, easy little fun things. I've actually got one here behind me too. This one's a green one. So I made a lot of them. I just had fun with it. But I have decided to like permanently keep this one and a purple one, which I have in my bathroom, and I will show you that in a little bit, for myself, just because those two were my favorite ones that I made, and I think I've sold all the rest of them minus this one and an orange one. But yeah, so it's just pretty and whatever. This next piece, it didn't survive the move, so I did have to add some stitching to fix it. I don't like how the stitching turned out to fix it. It's just, but the piece itself is still I made it. I was feeling really down, and one morning, and I just decided to squirt a bunch of paint on a canvas. Blue is my favorite color, so that's why I chose blue. And I like glitter, so I added glitter, and I just was painting, and it made me feel a little bit better. And then when it was finished and I hung it up, every time I looked at it, it just made me feel a little bit happy. I enjoyed this piece. It was just another kind of simple, easy, abstract kind of piece. A little bit sad about. I hoped that it would work better, but it just. But it is what it is, you know. It didn't make it here in one piece, so is what it is. This next piece is one that I made in kind of a time crunch gallery exhibit for bathroom art in San Antonio. I just love it so much. This one is another one that I hung it up when I was done, and it just made me really happy every time that I looked at it. Like, it just turned out so perfectly how I wanted it to. So the theme for the gallery was bathroom art. So I literally just set up my makeup on the little, it's not even a counter, it's just the edge of the sink. We didn't have a counter at that house in the bathroom. But yeah, I just literally set it up, kind of played around, took some still life pictures with my phone, and then painted it. And I added real glitter, which is like, this is the actual glitter from what I was like trying to make. Like, I have these cute little glitters that I got a couple years ago because I wanted to be, glittered up or whatever. And so there are these cute little glitters in these little whatever you call them, these little tub things. And so the glitter that I used to put the glitter on the painting is also the glitter that's actually like the body glitter that I have. And then this is just whatever glitter, but this is like the makeup that I used. Like, if I was gonna wear makeup, this is what it consisted of. My makeup routine has changed a little bit since then, but it still is mostly the same. It has the same elements. I'm really proud of the shading. The writing on the writing on the tube is gold. And I feel like I achieved that look. Shimmery gold with the colors that I used. And I had recently seen something about not putting pure white in a painting. Like, never having the brightest white. Like, adding some, so like this isn't as white as it gets. Like, this is still white mixed with blue and whatever. And I believe it was around that time that I saw this video. And so then I believe I implemented that into here as well, because there might be like a little bit of pure white in the highlights in here. But, also, like, look at the metal on this. Like, it looks like metal because I literally made it in a couple of hours because it was a time crunch. I didn't know if I was going to be in this gallery till a couple days before, and then I was like, I had misunderstood like what the whole thing was, so I had to create some pieces. And so time crunched this thing out, and it just turned out really good, and I just really love it. So that one. Next one that I want to talk about, this is not the original. First of all, these are my favorite prints of all time because look at how pretty that is. It's all rainbow and sparkly, and like, I mean, come on. So this one I have framed for my room. This one's for me. But so the original piece was a scratchboard piece that I made in high school. So it was for an art class. We were learning about doing like scratch board. So removing rather than adding, you know, with like a pencil you would add color. Here you're removing color in order to, so you're kind of doing it opposite a little bit. So like you're just getting the highlights rather than shading. So it was kind of like learning about that. And then the other thing was that this was you wrote a short story to pair with your pieces. So I vaguely remember it. It's somewhere. I have it somewhere. I can find it maybe if people are interested in hearing it. It's probably dorky. But the original of this I lost. Sometime around college, I had decided I wanted to try and sell art and make prints. And so I scanned this piece and a bunch of other pieces so that I could bring them into Photoshop and edit them so that they could be printed. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out where any of those pieces went. I don't know where the originals are. I have looked at my parents' house. I have looked through all of my art stuff, everything. I still have never found them. They literally like just disappeared into a freaking black hole. I have no freaking clue. So I don't know where the original of this is, unfortunately, which is really makes me sad. But that's why also I have a print framed of it for myself and not the original. But anyway, the original was a little bit smaller. These prints are blown up. The original prints, the first set of prints that I did are a little bit smaller, and that's more true to size of the original. The original was probably more like that big. Like maybe like a bigger than a 4x6, but not by much. Maybe a 5x7 or something. This is definitely like one of my all-time favorites. Like I just feel like I did a really good job on it. And I really love it so much. And coincidentally, this is my top seller in prints. So other people like it too, which is cool. This one is another one where the original is in a black hole somewhere. I have no idea where it went. But luckily I was able to scan the piece before it decided to just go off into another dimension. But anyway, this is my Zen Earth. This is the original one. I have 3 total versions because after I drew this one, I was in love with it, but had a few things that I wanted to like improve. So then I made another one, and then I made a third one that I don't even like really at all. So I don't sell prints of it. I remember drawing it. I was sitting at the breakfast bar at my parents' house. I believe I was in high school when I made this, and I just wanted to draw, and like I sat down and just started drawing in my sketchbook. I did a light circle in pencil, and I used literally a bowl to just do a light circle. So that is a perfect circle. And then I sketched out the outline of the countries, and then I just went in with pen and started doodling. I would love to get this tattooed if I could make it smaller, because it's too detailed. Like it would have to be this big to have this precise design. I would have to update it, and I don't know if it'll like look quite the same, like give me quite the same thing if I were to make it smaller and slightly less detailed, because I'd have to size it down. Love it still. I was trying to make it like flowy, like a current. And when I did the second version, the Zen Earth 2, I looked up the actual currents of the oceans and like directions and the way that they flow, and I tried to mimic that in the way that I drew them for Zen Earth 2. So not this one, but the second one. So that was like another one of the improvements that I was trying to make. So in high school graphics class, we learned how to make these kaleidoscopes, and I hadn't done it in a really long time, but I've been wanting to do it again because I just thought it was really fun. And it is very fun, and it's kind of easy and whatever. So when I made this one and this next one that I'll talk about, I'm just going to briefly cover the process. Oh, I also have videos I don't think I have a video for this one, but I know I have a video, a YouTube video on like the behind the scenes of me making this. I have like a time-lapse screen recording from my computer when I was making it. It's not perfect, I don't think, but I mean, it's basically behind the scenes, and then I kind of talk over and over the recording and kind of explain the process. But briefly, the process is I take an photo that I have taken. So this image, the image that I used for the background, the kaleidoscope itself, was from a picture that I took when I was in Greece of some pink flowers creeping along a wall. So it's white background with pink and green because of the leaves. But yeah, so it's just a picture of flowers. I cut a slice of it in a triangle, and then you just use some basic math to figure out like the angles and everything, so that you can duplicate it. And then you just duplicate that triangle a bunch of times. What I added to these two pieces is my own like paintings, like physical artwork that I made. I took a photo of, inserted it into Photoshop, edited, removed the background, etc., and then duplicated and adjusted and added into the piece. This was the first one that I did, and I added this sort of not totally abstract, but mostly abstract, kind of feminine. So I added those in there, and I just liked how it looked just like that. And then when I had them printed, I decided to embellish with glitter just to make them pop just a little bit more. So these are actually, the hearts and some spots in the middle are actually sparkly. But this one I called Female because it just, I added this, which is feminine, like it's supposed to look female. It kind of looks like faces in the middle, like kind of like faces, which I kind of like. That's the fun thing about making the kaleidoscopes, is that they're completely abstract. So like you can look at it and see something different than I see or whatever. And all of my prints, by the way, I have little blurbs. My little blurb on this one includes this little part, natural elements that are soft and intricate, dainty yet strong. This piece is one that can be interpreted in many ways because, you know, it's abstract. I see warning faces, you know, like the center, it seems like kind of tough. But then the outside is soft and floral, very pretty and kind or whatever. Tie it up by saying, it reflects all of us, our many sides and pieces of ourselves, and some that are visible to the outside and some that are not. I feel like with abstract art, it's more about how you feel when you look at it. Which sometimes is what I don't like about abstract art personally, because it can be so simple that it's just annoying. But also that's what it is. It's about what you feel when you look at it and what it means for you. But then again, that's what all art is. So, yeah. But anyway, this piece for me is feminine. It's got hard edges and pointed things and whatever, but it's also soft and it just, whatever. Anyway, that's enough. I can't say any more on it. This one, same deal, same concept. The physical piece that I added into this one are the mushrooms. There's some little ones and then these main bigger ones. This one I'm also very proud of. I embellished with glitter as well. I have some that are embellished with blue glitter and some that are embellished with pink glitter. This one, also a picture of flowers for the original triangle, is a little bit different because I do, like this one stands by itself. This one, I duplicated onto the sides so that it fills the page. It's kind of trippy, like, you know. Shrooms, all caps, with exclamation points. Shrooms! It's just very fun. Another one of my favorite pieces is very recent. It is a sticker that I made, and I did the design on Procreate, and it's a little Jersey calf, with little milk dripping, and it's so cute, and I love so much. So yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's adorable. And this is definitely all-time best-selling sticker. I made these last year. These are 2 pieces from one of my artist trading card mini paintings. These 2 are from my little Ghosty series. I like this one a lot because I just feel like I was so clever with the title, like the little caption. I just think it's really funny, and I'm proud of my creativity in naming that, because I'm not usually very good at naming things. I don't like to name things. It feels like a lot of pressure, and I just feel like it never lives up to what I like want in essence. But this one, it's all about the title, man. It's so good. And this one I just think is really cute. Those are 2 pieces from the set. So there's 2 other pieces in this series, and then I have 1 other series and 1 series that I'm still working on. This next one I did this year. I wanted to do some linoleum prints, so this is the first one that I did. I have to remake it because it also didn't survive the move, so it got too hot in the car and it like shrunk and it doesn't print right anymore, so that kind of sucks. So it's kind of inspired by the landscape in Fort Davis, Texas, in the Davis Mountains. It's got the prickly pear, we got the little the so tall growing in the back, and then we've got the mountains. I made the sun kind of look almost hazy like. Another one of my favorite pieces that I don't have access to, but I'm gonna throw up a picture while I start talking. But it is made up of smaller squares. The squares are wine filters that I recycled from Chateau Wright, the winery that I was living and working at for a little while. From the vineyard, looking up at Blue Mountain, and you see Chateau Wright, the winery, with their little tasting room. You see just a little bit of it peeking out over the tops of the vines, and then there's the surrounding landscape. And I really love this piece. I wish that I could like show you what it looks like. I don't know if they've put it up yet or not, because they hadn't finished their indoor tasting room when I sent it. So I don't know if it's being displayed yet or not. Hopefully it's still in one piece. But it is, I'm really proud of it. It turned out really, really, really cool. This piece is one that I made of the tasting room, same place, that is hanging in their Airbnb. It is of the tasting room. I like how it turned out. It's really cute. It's very accurate and everything. Another piece that I made that I do forget about because it was a while ago, and I did sell the original pretty quickly when I started doing markets. Kind of wish that I hadn't sold it, but also is what it is. It is same concept as the larger project that I made for Chateau Wright. It is 3 wine filters, kind of staggered, from the vineyard looking up at Blue Mountain, but I did really fun colors. It took me a couple days. I was doing it in the midst of the harvest season, so I would go out and harvest and then come in and take a break and paint for a little bit, and then I go out in the afternoon and harvest again. Oh, you know what else we should talk about? These guys. So these are CDs that I painted. I made them to hang in my doorway because when I was a kid, I had beads in my doorway, and then I had like these flower strung beads, I think, at one point. And then I decided to start painting CDs. So over the course of like years, I made all of these. Most of them are just kind of like quotes or lyrics from songs. This is Harry Potter. This is just an excerpt from Harry Potter. So those are the first ones that I did, like super simple, just says Je t'aime with the Eiffel Tower, because I was all about France and Paris and learning French and everything. I did this one was One Direction. I made Seattle. I did lots of Doctor Who stuff. We've got the British flag because Doctor Who. Shout out to Charlie So Cool Like because I loved their videos. And that's what started the whole British invasion thing. Yeah, Doctor Who. This one I was working on while I was sitting at a table at the Wisconsin State Fair. And people are like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm painting CDs. It's for my doorway, for my room. It's a rainbow and it's fun. And it's just like a bunch of little random doodles in your notebook or something, you know. I liked Harry Potter in middle school. I read it for the first time in middle school. Yeah, more lyrics, Taylor Swift lyrics. This one is a design that I doodled. And I just really like the design, so I've replicated it a bunch of times. Oh, this one's fun. It's lyrics, but I painted it to kind of look like a record. This one I made in high school, and I finally found a place to hang them again. This one's a fun one. I made it when I was working at Kid Create. Now I'm going to take you upstairs to my bathroom, and I'm going to show you the purple Fiesta piece that I have in there that I kept for myself. I'm also going to show you my most recent painting. We're going to whisper and be kind of quiet because people are sleeping or trying to. These are my two pieces and it really works with the pink bathroom. And then this is my other piece. I did put epoxy over it, the Sharpie writing. So like right here you can see the actual Sharpie on the actual painting kind of melted away. I'm a little bit disappointed about that, but otherwise I still like it. But yeah, that's all. Those are my favorite projects that I have done ever. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful, beautiful day.